Good morning, good morning. Welcome to today's coffee chat. Well, my excitement is about to boil over. I can't even express how excited I am because today, what I have on my mind, drum roll please, is my first cookbook. It comes out today. Today is the actual launch day that I'm filming. It's Tuesday. So by the time this comes up for you on Thursday, it will be all ready to be purchased either by popping on down to your local bookstore, or I'll include a link in the box below to head on over to my website, and I've got direct links straight through to Amazon to get it delivered to you. I'm so frazzled, but I'm going to try and center myself and share with you what I want you to know about this cookbook. It feels like a lifelong dream having been realized. I always wanted to be an author. I love food, I love nutrition. That, of course, is my primary passion. That's why I come to you each week. But I also have always been a bookworm. I've always loved cookbooks. What I love to do is tuck in at night and flip through a beautiful cookbook. I've had a subscription to the magazine Food and Wine for, oh my gosh, probably over a decade. I love that. And so always wanted to be an author and always wanted to have my own cookbook. So I was just first, I have to admit, I did not believe it when the publisher first reached out to me, because I was like, as I saw the email of like someone saying, oh, we want you to write a cookbook for us. I'm like, sure you do. And I almost deleted that email because I just assumed it was, a scam, spam type of thing. But before I did, I thought, well, let me just Google to see if this company is legit. And lo and behold, it was. It was not a scam. It was one of my dreams coming true. The publisher had seen what I'd been doing online, really liked my approach to nutrition, and so they reached out to me to ask me to create this cookbook. And my excitement, I didn't allow myself to get excited at first. I'm a bit of a skeptic, I have to say. But it was when I was on that first phone call with the publisher, and they were sharing with me the concept of this book, that they wanted an evidence-based, practical voice in the sugar detox realm. And so I thought, yes, that's when I let the excitement come out. That's when I was like, I am on board. I'm so excited for this opportunity. And so it was a complete whirlwind in the spring, the summer. You might have seen me kind of drop right off of social media because, oh my goodness, I had no idea. As much as this was a dream to do, I had no idea how much time it would take to write and to develop 125 recipes. So, I disappeared. I got a little quiet here on the social media because I was busy at my computer. I was busy in the kitchen. And fast forward to now the book has come out, and I'm super excited to share with you what the heck this cookbook is all about. This cookbook is an evidence-based approach to sugar, to getting sugar out of our diets. Now, we all know, you don't need me to tell you, that sugar is not good for us. And the reality is that most people eat too much sugar. And so, but you know what? A lot of the sugar detoxes sort of stuff out there are like these really extreme detox methods where you have to eat super strict for a short period of time, and you have to make recipes that include 5 million ingredients that are super specialized, and you have to spend like $5 million to get. And then there's like these magic potions that cleanse your liver and all of that sort of stuff. This is not what this book is about. Instead, this book is just a really practical, simple return, or perhaps for the first time for you, entree into real food. Real simple, real food. Because the reality is, our bodies can be healthy if we give them half a chance. We don't have to do these extreme measures in order to detox the body. What we just need to do is eat healthfully, give our body a chance, and it will do what it is designed to do. And so that's what my cookbook is. It's a return to that kind of eating, or perhaps for you, it's the first time you've eaten that way. You've been doing a ton of takeout, a ton of added sugars, and so you're ready to launch into some healthy eating. That's what this book is designed for. It's designed to be a day in, day out practical book for busy people who want to eat healthfully. Now, I've seen a couple of early reviews, and people have been giving kind of some negative reviews because they're having different expectations of what this book is. So if you're looking for those magical liver cleanse potions, it's not in here, I'm warning you now. Also, if you're looking for a cookbook that includes a lot of artificial sweeteners for a lot of desserts, like if you're looking for a baking book for a lot of artificial sweeteners or sugar substitutes, that's not what this book is about. So that's why I want you to be kind of forewarned, to let you know what this book is, what this book is not. What this book is for busy people, intelligent people who just want to eat healthfully in a practical way so that it's doable day in, day out. So let's get into a little bit of the details. Oh, first I want to also let you know that yes, this is not a coffee table book. This is not a book to just kind of look at for its beauty and not ever make a single recipe in here. There's not a lot of pictures. This is a soft cover book. It's meant to get dirty. It's meant to be a workhorse. So what is in here? I've got my little pages marked here so I can turn to them quickly. So the table of contents, how the book starts is there's a part one. The part one is a little bit of a dive into the evidence base for sugar. By no means is this, I mean, I could write, a huge volume just on reviewing the evidence for what sugar does to our bodies, the negative effects in our bodies. That's not the focus of this, but I do touch a little bit on it so that you know why the heck sugar has been getting so much focus lately. What does it do to our bodies? And then we dive deep in, and then we go into the action, because really this is an action-oriented book, because it's for busy people who are like, okay, yeah, I get it. Sugar isn't healthy for me. How the heck do I take action so that I remove so much sugar from my diet? So that's what there is. The next section is really worthwhile because what I find is that a lot of people don't know how to get organized in order to make healthy eating happen on a daily basis. So it's a great section here on how to find sugar on ingredient lists because it's hiding under so many different names. And then foods to look at, kind of major culprits, major places where sugar is often hiding, what we're going to be focusing on, healthy choices, and then some organizing tips, some tips for meal prep, some meal prep hacks, if you want to call them that, how to get organized to make it your time really efficient when you are spending time in the kitchen, when you are spending time in the grocery store, including a 2-week meal plan that really showcases how to get organized in that way, how to get cooking a few things when you're in the kitchen so that you have multiple meals and snacks throughout the day, organized and prepared, how to reuse some leftovers to make other dishes, that sort of thing. So those sorts of steps are in the first section. Then part 2 is the recipes, which I know in a cookbook we're mostly all about. So it's organized breakfast, lunch, snacks, poultry and meat, fish and seafood, vegetarian, vegan mains, so easy sides, and then naturally sweet endings. So yes, there are some dessert recipes in a no sugar cookbook. Okay, so some details. Breakfasts. Here we go. Some beautiful breakfast ideas because really getting good choices starting in the day starts you in an even-keeled way that helps. Oh, I've got a little lighting concern here. Hold on a sec. Okay. Starting with breakfast in a healthy way really helps you start on an even-keeled way so that you can prevent a lot of the sugar cravings further on. I'm all about preventing the sugar cravings before they hit instead of trying to manage them once you get them. So, breakfast, great way to get started on that even-keeled way. I've got a variety of breakfast ideas in here. I've got a smoothie and how to build smoothies so that they are balanced and not just hidden sugar bombs, but also some make ahead ideas, some warm ideas, some cold ideas, and some beautiful weekend breakfast brunch type of ideas. Then moving into lunch. Lunch is really focused around some salads, but these aren't salads that you're going to eat and feel hungry an hour later, because again, that just sets you up to get heading out to the convenience store, popping over to the bakery and get something sugar laden. No. These are salad bowls. These are full meal salads that are going to keep you full for like 3, 4, 5 hours. There's also some some sandwiches, some wraps, those sorts of things as well, for those of you who prefer to choose that. Heavily focused on the vegetarian and vegan choices. There are some meat and poultry and seafood choices in there as well, but really heavily emphasizing vegetarian, vegan for this cookbook. Moving on to snacks. Now, snacks, I really reconceptualize how I handle snacks really helps a lot of my clients to prevent those sugar cravings, to have that steady blood sugar. And so I'm so happy to share a bunch of snack ideas in here. Heavy focus on protein-rich snack choices, again, with a strong emphasis on vegetarian. I think 13 out of the 15 snacks are vegetarian, or vegan really, and then a few of those are vegetarian too. And then, as I said, almost all of them including protein choices as well. Lots of fiber, and a lot of them are dips. I love a dip because really they're delicious, they're kind of fun, they make you excited for a snack. Because if you're feeling that your snack is super boring, then again, you're going to be tempted to skip it and head for something sugary. So, a dip keeps it fun. Bring out the child in you, the young person in you, and enjoy a little bit of dipping. I think the kids have it right there with their love of dips. Then we get into the poultry and the meat section. Again, a good variety in here. Lots of meals that are 30 minutes or less, and then some meals that do take longer, but if they take longer, they make big portions. So these are your big batch meals to make when you have a little more time in the kitchen, so that you're making not just dinner for tonight, but you're setting up to have some leftovers, put in the freezer, put in the fridge for those super busy days when you don't have time to cook. Fish and seafood, a section there. This chapter has some of my absolute favorite recipes in here. I'm talking a seafood cioppino that is so delicious, and then perhaps my favorite recipe in the whole book. It's an olive oil poached salmon with orange and fennel. So delicious, so elegant, easy to make, and yet totally beautiful for, say, a little date night meal or you're entertaining. Some great choices there. Also, a lot of focus on seafood that you can get anywhere in the country. I know we're lucky here on the coast, including a lot of frozen choices and canned choices too. So lots of budget-friendly seafood choices. And then the biggest chapter in the book are the vegetarian and vegan mains. Sharing a little image for you there. I wanted to have the biggest chapter being vegetarian and vegan mains because I want this book to appeal to people who are vegetarian, who are vegan, but also for many people who are omnivorous, but you're kind of tiptoeing into being more plant-based. Plant-based is a great choice for so many of us, great choice environmentally as well. And so I wanted to include a lot because I get so many questions from you, from people on social media, from clients, who are wanting to become more plant-based, but you've kind of grown up in like a meat, potato, veg family. So you're like, how do I do this? What do I include? And so pretty much every single one of them have a great amount of protein in there to be a complete meal as a vegetarian or a vegan. And lots of these recipes are vegan. So it's not just, oh, throw a bunch of cheese on there, make it taste good. No. So there are some that include cheese, but lots without it that are still delicious, keep you full, keep you satisfied too, because that I hear from a lot of people around switching to being more plant-based, that they feel hungry. And again, that hunger is going to drive you towards those sugary foods. So keeping you full, keeping your blood sugar steady, so important. So again, being that we're looking at entrees here, there are some that are less than 30 minutes, lots that are, but then there's also some dishes that take longer to cook, but you're going to get a big batch. So you're going to get those leftovers. These are great meal prep type of dishes. Moving along to the sides. Of course, I've got some sides in here. There we go. With heavier emphasis on vegetable sides and then a few starch or grain sides as well. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I have a love affair with the vegetables. So of course I was going to have a lot of vegetables present in this cookbook. And what I've chosen to do for the vegetable recipes here in the sides is really focus on the unsung heroes, the overlooked, the underdog vegetables that have a lot of great nutrition in them, but really don't get a lot of attention. And I find a lot of people don't know what to do with, or maybe they have like one recipe, but that's it. So I wanted to highlight a lot of the underdogs vegetables. So things like roasted Brussels sprouts with paprika, a super easy beet salad, Swiss chard with capers and raisins, and so on. These are often vegetables as well that are cheaper, easier on the budget because they just haven't been the stars lately. You know, often I find that like kale is super expensive because everybody's been focusing on it, and yet something like a Swiss chard quite a bit cheaper because they just haven't been the star. So great nutrition in that Swiss chard. Head on out and explore it with that delicious recipe. And then last but certainly not least, desserts. I do have some desserts in here. Now, this is the chapter, I admit, took me the longest time to wrap my head around. Okay, no sugar, got it. But my friends all know that if I'm having people over, they say, what can I bring? I always say dessert because I don't bake. I am not a good baker, and so the few baking recipes that I have in here, if I've concluded it, you know it's super easy because if I can make it, you can make it. And so for these desserts, they're all super, super easy. Really simple. Some of them are almost even more like techniques than a true recipe because they're so changeable. You can change them up. You can substitute different ingredients, follow your own taste buds with different ideas. But I wanted to share some because if we're moving away from sugar, I don't want you to be left feeling like you can never have dessert again. No. Some of these are super easy and some of them are really quite elegant too. So beautiful. If you are doing some entertaining or a little date night action, some beautiful choices. Heavily focused towards fruit because that's a food close to Mother Nature that does have some sweetness naturally in it. But not all of them include fruit, but for that is a great time to include some fruit, is a time when you're looking for a little sweetness in the dessert. Well, that's a rundown of my new cookbook, the Easy Sugar Detox Cookbook. 125 recipes for a sugar-free lifestyle, because that's really what this book is getting at, is changing to having a low added sugar lifestyle. And I'm just super, super happy to be able to share this with you today. I am so grateful for everybody who helped make this happen, and for the publisher for reaching out and giving me the opportunity to share my much loved recipes with you, to provide another way for me to share my passion and help you have a healthy lifestyle, help you eat healthfully in a very practical way so that it actually happens day to day. If you like today's video, let me know. Click the little thumbs up button. If this is the first time you've been here, welcome. So great to have you. And if you've been a community member for a long time, thank you so much. Love to have you support me in this way. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do click the subscribe button, because every Thursday morning I come and I share with you nutrition tips, what's on my mind around food and nutrition, grocery store, things that I'm loving. I bust nutrition myths, and then I also review cookbooks. So click the subscribe button so that you always know that you're invited every week to come on into my kitchen, have a cup of coffee, and chat nutrition. To get my cookbook, it's available today. So yes, head on down to your local bookstore, support your local bookstore in that way, or take action right away. We made it super, super easy that I'll include a link below to my website, and you can purchase it online so that it can be delivered to you. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you back here next Thursday morning.